All right, guys. Welcome to the Glen and Corey Show. Glad to be back. It's been a while. Glen, how you been?
Pretty good, man. It's been a little too long of a wait, but
a little too long. All right, we're back. Let's jump right into it. We're going to start off with the Washington Redskins versus the Dallas Cowboys yesterday. What a win.
It was an incredible game.
Big win for Washington. Awesome to see him take it there in the end. Held the Cowboys pretty well. What do you think about the Cowboys' game plan?
It's a little lopsided. Murray only had 19 carries in the game.
Mm-hmm.
He had a lot of yards and averaged 7.5 a carry, but especially late in the game there, they went away from him when they should have kept pounding the ball. We couldn't really, we had to stop them all game. He had 150 yards.
Yeah, for a player averaging what 7.5
on the game, yeah.
Per carry this season, it seemed like they didn't want to go to him. And what we were talking about before the show is Redskins have done a pretty good job stopping the run for the most part this season. And their secondary has been awful.
Has been the weakness.
Has been
but
terrible.
It was the opposite yesterday.
So I'm wondering if Cowboys kind of went to attack that game plan. It came to bite them in the
It
butt.
definitely did. Yeah, Romo looked horrible last night. He should have kept Whedon. Like I have the Whedon stats. He was only in for 2 drives, and both drives they scored touchdowns.
And he should have stayed in, honestly.
Yeah,
they shouldn't have taken him out.
The second Romo came back in the game, they were in overtime. It was just like my dad said. It was over. Game was over.
Now, speaking of quarterbacks, Colt McCoy, he did a great job. I think he played pretty well. He had his weaknesses, but overall he did a good job coming in first start. When RG3 comes back, do you think he returns?
I think he will return. I think he will.
Do you think
McCoy
he comes right in as a starter?
Yes, I think the Redskins do. But if you're asking me, I think McCoy earned at least another start, like we talked before.
I agree.
I mean, like they've said all over TV today. He had the most efficient game as a quarterback ever for the Washington Redskins. 25 to 30,
which is insane.
And a yard under 300 yards, 299 yards.
Yeah.
He didn't have a touchdown.
Yeah.
But 25 to 30,
touchdown.
RG3's never done that.
Mm-hmm.
No quarterback ever for the franchise. He definitely earned another start. And we play Minnesota next week.
He earned another start for sure. I agree. I think he earned a start as well. I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
Exactly. The season's.
What season could be over? I mean, basically, the only thing we could be going for, in my opinion, is putting the Giants in 4th place, us in 3rd place.
I wouldn't mind that.
But yeah, I agree. I think he deserves a start. He worked his butt off, and he's shown he's excited. He's a spark, like we talked about last episode.
He was clutch. He scrambled when he needed to. He was great in the pocket. Just looked like he was a starter in this league for a long time.
I agree. And we got two not too difficult games coming up. I think it would be a good chance for him to kind of.
I totally agree. And there's no need and if RG3 is 95, there's no need to rush him back. Just let him sit and completely recover.
It was a pretty good week for quarterbacks overall, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Roethlisberger,
Brady,
went off.
And even Orton had a great one for Buffalo.
All right, we're going to take a 180 here. We're going to touch on the Premier League. Pretty exciting weekend for the Premier League. We'll start off with Arsenal versus Sunderland. We got a 2-0 win there. It's kind of a disappointing 2-0 win.
Yeah.
Both goals were scored off of goalkeeping errors. Our old goalie, Manone, our backup goalie. Yeah, he's our backup goalie, Manone. Hasn't been playing too well. Just conceded 8 goals against Southampton. Come up to face his old team. Lets in 2 goals, both on his errors.
Yeah, those goals were. I mean, you couldn't give them to him as any easier.
Yeah, we didn't really create any chances. Just kind of were lucky enough to capitalize on missed back passes and him
A.F.C. being in the right place at the right time. He was putting pressure on those players, so
without him putting pressure on Manone for both those plays, we wouldn't have got those.
Yeah, I guess that's the positive out of it. Sanchez putting pressure on, and
you can take some positives from it. We kept the clean sheet, which was kind of good. Which was not a bad thing.
Does Sunderland have any threats really? I don't know.
Not really. They didn't. And Alexis, like you said, Alexis played great. It was just great to see.
Just hope he doesn't get injured, man.
Yeah. Historically, he hasn't been getting injured when he plays for Barca.
That would be so depressing.
Manchester United versus Chelsea. What a game.
Yeah, we actually watched that together.
Watched that one.
Holy cow, what a game.
Great game. I thought Chelsea, as their tactics always,
park it.
True to their own tactics. They park the bus, get the 1-0 lead, and just defend for the rest of the game. It almost worked. Worked. Right down to the end there, Manchester United was able to get the equalizing goal.
Di Maria with a great cross and
get a point. Now, I hate Manchester United, but I gotta say it is interesting to see them win at home. in the 90th minute.
Yeah, over the 90th minute.
Just to hear that crowd erupt. And what a game! What a great game. Very interesting to see Falcao not start. And
I didn't even notice that now that you say that.
And
Murray didn't play.
Yeah, Drogba got the nod.
Drogba got the goal for Chelsea.
But you got to give Mourinho the credit, knowing that Drogba has big game experience. He knows how to dictate the play on the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're going to have a strong character out there, that's who you want it to be.
And you said Costa didn't even play, right?
No.
Yeah. Maybe it's why would you give him a day off on Man U though?
I mean, honestly, that's not a Diego Costa game. This is what I was discussing earlier with a friend of mine. That's not a game that Diego Costa is going to succeed in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he hasn't really proved himself in big games.
Okay.
You know, he kind of on this World Cup and on international matches, he just seems to kind of close up within himself and not really.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, if you watch him, I mean, this season he's been electric.
Yes.
But
who have they played?
Yeah, well, that, but also just big games, he just never seems to show. At least not.
He didn't show in the World Cup. Well, I guess the whole team did show.
Atletico Madrid, he did well, big games, but I guess Mourinho was. I mean, he's the special one.
He's working, man. I guess we'll see.
Okay, college football.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, right now, I think they should be just finishing up.
Yeah, they just released that top four. That meeting just finished.
What you got for the rankings?
I'm really, as we were all talking before, the top four is very strange to me.
I'll read them off.
Well, the AP has Mississippi State, Florida State, Alabama, and Oregon, I believe, as their top four.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the committee only put two of those four in their top four to make the playoff coming later this year for the first time. They put Mississippi State in, who's number one.
Which
FSU in number two. Actually, no, Auburn. They put three of the four in there.
Mm-hmm.
FSU number two, Auburn number three, and then Ole Miss, who just lost this weekend, who's currently number seven in the AP poll in the top four. So I guess that tells us that I guess they're using the eye test more, or I guess it'd be the strength of schedule more than the eye test.
Well, not necessarily, because if it was based off of strength of schedule alone, you got to say that Florida State would not be in that true spot. Plus, the thing I was reading.
Neither would they be in the eye test, though.
Well, something I was reading earlier today was you can't bring the phrase last season's national champion into that room.
I heard that on the radio today.
You can't bring that in there because that doesn't matter. I mean, it matters to an extent, but you're talking about this season. Their job is to evaluate the 2014 season.
Like their conversation happens all the time. You should play the first 3 weeks of the season with no rankings.
Yeah.
And then as teams have played and who they played, you should rank them. Even if it's a team that finished 8-8 or 8-8 or 6 and whatever last year, they should be should be completely redone. That's a problem with the sport.
I feel like people are just kind of giving Florida State the benefit of that because they haven't lost a game, which is understandable.
They have the Heisman.
They have a Heisman winner. Yeah. They're the national champion, reigning national champion. But if it was on strength schedule alone, they wouldn't be. No, you're right. Be in that spot.
Neither would Ole Miss.
I'm curious to see. Well, Ole Miss has a harder schedule than Florida State has this season.
Yeah, well, I'm saying my top four would be Mississippi State, Auburn, Notre Dame, and Michigan State, or even maybe TCU, because they've all had great schedules and they've won all. So TCU has the one loss.
So one-loss team, you would put them above Florida State at this point.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, I heard on the radio today. I was watching. I guess it was Cowherd this morning. One of the guys that ranks teams had Florida State at number 20.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. So that's a stretch.
But it's a stretch, but it's not an unrealistic stretch.
Yeah.
Because these are conversations I've had, and I know you've had that.
We had on the last show.
Right. That
they're the hardest game.
They have a weak schedule.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, they're performing well. Again, that phrase comes in where you say they're the reigning national champion, but how often can you repeat that when it's this season now?
Yeah.
And they're playing these teams that can't keep up with them, or it's like high school versus junior varsity.
It's exactly what it is. Yeah, ACC's a joke.
Men versus boys. So I don't know. I don't think that's unrealistic for him to put.
It is just the first ranking.
It's interesting though.
Oh, it is definitely. I could almost agree with it.
Also, NBA season starts tonight. Let's touch on that a little bit. I've been waiting for it. I'm excited it's finally here.
Definitely.
A lot of big moves in the offseason. Finally get to see everyone kind of take the court. I'm very excited about that.
I guess what I'm most intrigued about is Rose coming back. I mean, I'm sure everybody wants to see LeBron and Kevin Love.
I, for one, cannot wait to see LeBron and Kevin Love.
It's supposed to be really it's going to be great. But I want to see Rose come back because Rose would be my MVP. If he's healthy, he's my MVP.
Okay, yeah, interesting. I mean, you can't really tell with that guy. He always looks strong, and one freak play and his season's over.
Mm-hmm.
If he does stay healthy, which, like you said, you can't tell, I would probably agree with that as the MVP. So right now we have Dallas and San Antonio.
The Spurs are on, and then later is the Lakers and the Rockets, I believe.
San Antonio just debuted their most recent championship banner.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, what's your Final Four for the NBA Finals for the 2014-2015 season?
I will go East first.
Okay, Eastern Conference.
I'll do my East and your East.
Sure, go ahead.
I have the Cavs and the Bulls. I think the East is really weak. The Washington will make a push.
Yeah, but those are the two strongest teams.
Without a question. And ultimately, I think that's actually why LeBron even stayed in the East, because he knows he'll make the finals every year. It's great.
It's much easier for him to stay in the finals unless he could.
I mean, even if Rose goes down again, the Bulls still might be that.
Yeah, they have a little more depth.
They drafted McDermott, and they got Pau Gasol now.
Yeah,
they're loaded.
What do you think about him? Do you think he'll perform well?
Oh, I think it'll work perfect. Yeah, okay. I think it'll work perfect. With Noah.
Yeah,
I think it'll work great.
So Western Conference.
I have the Spurs and actually the Trailblazers. I'm not high on the Clippers like you are.
Yeah.
I don't. Chris Paul's great, but I don't think he's the best point guard personally. He hasn't won anything.
Yeah, of course.
That's just me.
So who is the best point guard in your opinion?
If all point guards are healthy, it's Derrick Rose. And I think that's without question.
I was just asking because you said he hasn't won anything, so I wasn't. You have to kind of put that into play. I'll give you my Eastern Conference.
Okay.
Cavs in Chicago.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's pretty easy. Spurs and Clippers out west. I just think with everything the Clippers got going on this season.
Oh, they have a very talented roster. I'm not going to trust them until they win. Now they definitely could.
Of course.
And
it sucks for them because at the end of last season they had the Donald Sterling incident. It kind of took their minds off it. They look pretty good.
I was watching Cowherd had Bill Simmons on today, who works for ESPN, and suspended recently, and he even said, "Well, I like the Clippers this year because they're a lot less racist."
Yeah,
and they were all laughing. I thought that was kind of interesting.
It takes your mind off it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Does, especially at the time.
And Griffin, a lot of people forget Griffin was third in the MVP race last year. He blew up last year. He's finally getting a jumper, and he's quickly becoming pretty unstoppable. So, and Doc's a great coach. They have
CP3 behind them.
Yeah, it's hard to, but we'll see. I just don't trust him right now.
So,
who's your finals?
I would have Spurs versus Cavs in the finals.
Me too.
I'm sure a lot of people have that.
Yeah,
it's kind of a no-brainer.
And I have the Spurs win it too. Popovich plays 10 guys, 12 guys a game, and he rests them so well. I mean, during the season, like last season, Parker, Ginobili's dunking the stars. Only averaged 24 minutes a game, which is literally half the game. And he rested him so well for the playoffs, and he's just so smart. Right. I think he's above and beyond as the best head coach in the league, and it pays off, and I think they'll win again.
So your dream top five for the season, your starting five on if you had a basketball team.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not the average fan would probably just want scoring, and scoring, and I'm not basing mine off that because I'll go a little mix here. My point guard, now this is everybody's healthy. As people know now, I like Rose.
Right.
He creates a lot. I think he's unguardable. I'll go to LeBron's my small forward.
Okay.
No brainer, as you have.
That's
KD, you got to start him too.
Another no brainer.
Now we both have different centers that most people wouldn't have, which is good. I like LaMarcus Aldridge.
Okay.
He plays for Trailblazers. He does it all. He's got a great jumper, backboard jumper, rebounds, runs the floor well. I just love him. And then my shooting guard, I'm a little biased because he's one of my favorite players, but he also showed everybody how great he is. Because he plays defense, he hustles, he does everything right. If I had a starting five, Kawhi Leonard would be my shooting guard.
Okay, that's not a bad pick.
And the NBA actually ranked him number 20, brought him up to 24th in their rankings. So I'd have Rose, Kawhi, LeBron, KD, and Aldridge, and I think I'd beat your team no matter what.
Okay, interesting. So for my team, I got CP3 at point guard, Chris Paul.
Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong with that.
He's going to find all those guys wide open. That's good.
I got Steph Curry, my shooting guard. Come on.
Yeah, he doesn't miss.
He doesn't miss. I got LeBron James.
Obviously.
Small forward. That's easy. Can't not pick LeBron James for anybody's top five.
That'd be pretty embarrassing.
KD, power forward. KD, a power forward. Again, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I don't see how
those two are no-brainers.
I don't see how your team would be my team, but I got Kevin Love at center.
Yeah, you were saying you like Kevin Love and LeBron playing together.
I do.
Like that dynamic, and
I like their chemistry.
Yeah, the rumors have said they're going to be incredible.
I think they're friends first, and then now teammates. So we should see.
But I win.
Well, okay. Maybe hopefully one day we'll be able to afford these guys and play them against each other. That's all I have for tonight. Do you have anything else?
I'm good.
Go ahead.
No. Oh, if anybody has any ideas for recommendations for names of the show,
names of the show, please. If you have any recommendations, comment below.
I know our current name is really interesting.
It took a lot to think of this name. Much deliberation, many hours.
Lost hours of sleep.
Finally came up with it. It's the Glen and Corey Show. But if you have any recommendations, please comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And
we'll try to put more up than one a week.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.